Hey there, Uncharted fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's Player Select Uncharted 4 A Thief's End Nathan Drake Ultimate Edition action figure. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but there's a reason for that. NECA is doing these Ultimate Edition figures now where they, instead of just charging you over and over for, little variations on figures, they say, hey, this is the figure you've always wanted, this is everything you need for him, you're done. So kudos to NECA on that. The box is typical for the Ultimate figures, where it is a giant window box, and it is actually hinged here on the front. There's a little bit of some Velcro right here, so you can pop that open. Inside, you can see the figure in the window. You can see a shot of the figure, a really cool map in the background. On the bottom of here, it says, Nathan Drake action figure. You can see most of, if not all, of the accessories there. On the side, you've got a shot of the action figure, all posed up pretty neat. On the back, we've got a shot of Nathan in various poses and things, and little blurbs here and there talking about all of his features. On the bottom, it's got a little info right here, and then we've got our credits here as opposed to on the bottom. The bottom is now reserved for, I guess, legal stuff over here, and that's pretty much it. On the top, it's just got the logo for the game again. So yeah, I am not an Uncharted player. I do not have a PlayStation, so I'm just into this because it looks like a great action figure. Let's get him out of the box and see what he's like. And here is Nathan Drake out of packaging, and this is a pretty cool figure. Like I said, I haven't played the game, so inaccuracy wise I'm not going to be able to tell you a whole lot about it, but he looks like the game art that I've seen previously. Yeah, very, very cool. Overall, this is a really, really neat figure. There are a couple things holding it back from being perfect, but we'll get to those in just a minute. First of all, we want to talk about accessories, because he does come with many, being an Ultimate figure. First being this alternate head. This is the one he's actually packaged with. So you can see it's kind of distressed, very nice kind of angry eyes, or like disgruntled. Maybe he's pulling up on a rope or something like that. This is like a tough face, so I like that one, pretty cool. And that is very easily swappable just by pulling out the existing head. That's just a standard peg and a hole, not a ball joint, and it pops right down. So the face, because it's a little crunched up and specific, I prefer a more neutral look, so I'm going to leave this head on. But it is a cool head nonetheless. We've also got, these are the fists that he came packaged with, and they are hinged, very nicely done. The one drawback to this is that he does appear to have a wedding ring on his left hand, but it is not painted. It seems like a small thing, but that's normally the type of detail that NECA doesn't miss, and especially since they went to the trouble of actually painting his fingernails with kind of a sandy color to make it look like he's been adventuring or spelunking. So they went that far, but then they missed the wedding ring, which I think is odd, because they also missed it on this hand as well. So I think that's interesting. This hand is more of a open hand, and it's open just a little bit, and I think it's to accommodate the rope that goes along with this. I suppose you could also fit the grappling hook itself in there, but for like hanging poses and stuff, the rope will slide right through that hand without any problems. And his other hand that he came with is just a typical one finger out shooting hand. You can see the fingernail is painted on that one as well. So yeah, hands wise, he comes with quite a bit. The one big one that he's missing, however, is a left open hand, because he does come with an AK rifle of some type. I'm not sure about AK variants, so I know that it's AK because of the receiver and the banana mag and everything like that, but I'm not sure exactly which one it is. But as you can see, there is no forward grip on this. All he's got is a standard hand rest, no vertical grip, I should say. So, oops, while he can hold it in his right hand very well, no problem, finger out, right on the trigger, his left hand can't do anything, which is a big miss for NECA. They normally are very good about noticing stuff like that. they usually have like a cupped hand that just rests right underneath here, and for some reason didn't include it this time, because his other hands are just fists. I think personally, I definitely would have given up this left fist for an open hand to make that more realistic, because I'm the type of person who likes to holster the small weapons and feature the large weapons. So that was a big miss for NECA. I'm not sure why that happened, if that was an oversight or if they just didn't think it costed out, but I don't know why you would think you would want a fist more than an open hand to make display options better. Unless he's walking around with his fists out all the time. I mean, like I said, I haven't played the game. We have a coiled up version of his grappling hook. You can see there's a little peg there, and on the side of his belt there is a hole. Because this is a rubber overlay, it is a little difficult to get it in there. You may have to do some wiggling and finagling and stuff, but I've gotten pretty good luck at just getting it to kind of rest there. So with a little heat and maybe even carving out that hole a little bit bigger, that would pop in there just fine. But as it is right now, it's just not going in very well. Oh, there we go. It'll at least set better this time. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's just, it's not fully engaged, I can see. So yeah, but that's a cool little accessory. I like that a lot. The rope on it is flexible and has a nice wash. And this is actually a hard piece of plastic for the grappling hook, which is folded up. So really cool. I'll probably just leave that attached, even if I have the grappling hook out. The grappling hook itself, we kind of showed off, but you can see it's got little gripper teeth to grab onto ledges and things like that. Very cool. And this is a real twined rope. The only caveat with a rope like this that has a really rope-like quality, which means, you know, the twisted twine going down, is that the end does not have any kind of clasp on it. So over time, if you play with this a lot, if you mess with it a lot, that will come unraveled and that will go all the way up this thing. So if I were you, I would take a very small piece of twist tie and just kind of tie that off, maybe black, and then snip it with some nail clippers or something like that, just to make sure that that doesn't come unraveled. If it does come unraveled, it's not the worst thing in the world, because you can just unclip it or like cut it off here and then tie a new one on. But you can see on this end where they actually burnt the edge, that's to keep it from unraveling. They just didn't do it on this one. Maybe mine's unique, maybe that's the only one that it happened to. Maybe it was just an oversight, but just something to be aware of. So that's both ropes, the head, the extra hands, and the rifle. And then we also have his pistol, which fits in his holster very well. This is a very soft rubber right here. And the pistol is a 1911 variant. It's a more modern one because the grip is wider to accommodate a double stack magazine, and you can see that there is a rail on the front for any kind of light or laser or anything like that. But I'll look up and see exactly which one this is, because I'm sure it's on IMFDB. But yeah, pretty nice little accessory. No additional paint that I can see, so I guess he just has it in all black. I would have thought that it maybe would have had like wood grips or something, but it's all black. So I guess that's just, you know, how it looks in the game, but I will look it up to be sure. So yeah, tons and tons of accessories on this guy. Figure himself, not too shabby either. I really like this guy a lot. They did some really nice work. I like his face. He's just got kind of like a resting dude face. I don't know what to call it. He just kind of looks kind of smirky and pissed off, sort of like a Han Solo type of character, Indiana Jones. Just always kind of dissatisfied with whatever's going on around. Very nice. He does have very dark hair, but he's got a little bit of maybe some brown and even maybe a little bit of gray. It looks like maybe he's a bit older, a little bit, not silver-haired, but getting there type of thing. We've got a little bit of a gash up here on his head, and it's covered around by some trauma, a little blood there, maybe some bruising. Very nice. We got a 5 o'clock shadow on the face, painted lips. The eyes look really, really nice. They did a great job overall. Even a little bit of paint in the ears. Just again, to kind of bring out that quality like he's got blood pumping through his veins. Looks really, really good. Nice blue shirt, and the buttons are all painted and everything. Some dust up here and a little bit of blood. Hopefully that'll come through on the camera okay. This is some reddish blood here on top of the brown stain. We've got more of that throughout the figure. Lots of great wrinkles. It makes it look like kind of a thin or even sweated through long sleeve shirt with the sleeves pushed up. We've got a little bit of a scar here on his wrist, or on his forearm. I guess this is a watch or a compass. I'm not really sure on his wrist, but it is pretty well detailed. Very, very nice. We got extra mags in his holster here. This is a chest holster, a shoulder holster. It's not tied down anywhere, so it kind of fits in with that sort of cavalier Han Solo type of attitude, which I like. It looks really good. The shirt is a very soft rubber plastic or rubber overlay, so if you push it up far enough, you can even see the plastic underneath where they've got an armature underneath for articulation, which is very cool. I love it when NECA does this because it makes the sculpt look great, but doesn't sacrifice articulation in the process. So very cool. And they even have it to where it's hanging out over the edge of the pants, which is really, really neat. That's really cool because it doesn't like affect any kind of movement or anything. He's got a pouch back here on the back. I don't know if that's for a camera or a dump pouch or what, but it looks good. Appropriate level of weathering on the pants and everything. A little bit of blood up here. Overall, just really, really outstanding. The boots are a nice little spot as well. On the bottom, we don't have any kind of detailing, but we do have peg holes for the feet. So if you want to pose him with any kind of pegged stand, that'd be pretty easy. Yeah, very, very nice in terms of both sculpt and paint. So on to articulation. We do have a very nice ball jointed head. Very good side to side, of course, swivel all the way around and then up and down. That is pretty much the same regardless of which head is on the figure at the time. Swivel hinges in the shoulders go all the way around, nothing to impede them on this particular figure. They go out about that far. Very, very nice. Then we have a swivel above the biceps right in there, which is cool, and then a swivel hinge in the elbows, which don't get a perfect 90 degrees, but get pretty close. To sculpt these rolled up sleeves, they kind of had to cut it the way they did, so it's not bad. I understand why they did it, but it could get a little bit better range, but it might sacrifice sculpt, so probably made the right call there. Swivel hinges in the wrist go all the way around and in and out, and that's the same for all the interchangeable hands. In the midsection, we have a very nice ball joint right here in the torso, so you get really good range, and the rubber is so thin that it's not going to hurt the articulation. Like, you can still go really far forward, and you see his body does not bounce back from resistance. He gets a little bit going back too, and then like side to side, it holds the poses. So very, very good job, NECA. Awesome work. And there's a bit of a swivel there as well because of that joint, but then there's also a swivel, not a ball joint, but a swivel in the waist. So you still get waist rotation as well. I thought it was interesting that they decided to do a swivel here instead of a ball joint. Typically they would do a second ball joint here, and I think that would have added even better articulation. So I'm not sure why they did it that way, but he still has great motion up in his chest, so maybe they just figured that was good enough. We do have another one of those rubber overlays down here, or the diaper kind of look. His is a lot less subtle than some of the ones we saw from like Aliens and things, so it doesn't look bad at all. But we have a swivel hinge in the hips, so he gets a pretty good motion forward. Going back, he's got very nice range as well. Out to the side, very nice for his Kung Fu action poses. Very cool, I like it. Then we have kind of a, if you can see it there, there's a little hidden swivel up here in the upper thigh. So you get great movement there. And then you get double hinge joints in the knees. First point gets you about 90 degrees. Second point will take you all the way back. Very, very cool. And then we have ball joints in the feet. So they go in and out, down, forward, and of course get some swivel in there as well. And this plastic down here is somewhat soft, but not super soft, so it may hinder some poses, but not many. I don't think there's a whole lot that you'll want to be doing with the ankles that you can't do. And again, the benefit of having really well articulated ankles is that you can take really wide stances, and not only does he stand up well, but his feet touch the ground naturally. So it makes it a little more realistic, which is something that's funny to say about a video game action hero who is an adventurer and I believe an archaeologist, but you know, whatever. This is a great action figure. in terms of now sculpt and paint and articulation. So kudos to you, NECA. And these are just here to give you a sense of scale for the figure. This is somewhat 6-inch scale, Marvel Legends Bucky body, and over here this would be a 1/10. This technically should be 1/12, but it really isn't because they're a little bit tall. But this is a 1/10 scale, which would be 7-inch scale. So you can see he lines up pretty well with other NECA figures and is taller than standard 6-inch figures. Overall, his height is right at about 6 3/4 inches tall. Yeah, about 6 3/4 to the top of the hair. So yeah, he fits in really well with the other NECA figures. If we take his helmet off, you can see he's about just a hair taller, or right at the same amount as Private Frost over here. So yeah, this is being a deluxe figure, a $25 figure. $24.99 from TRU.com, which is where I got it. I got free shipping, so I didn't have to worry about that or anything. But for your $25, you do get a lot of accessories. You get the pistol, which fits really nicely in his holster. You get the AK variant, whatever it is. You get the open grappling hook. You get the closed grappling hook. You get the 2 extra hands. You get the extra head. All really nice display option pieces, all for $25. I think it's a really good deal. The only things that hold this back from being the absolute perfect figure for this guy, personally, I would say that he needs the paint on the ring. Not a huge deal, you can fix it yourself, but it does seem like an oversight, considering NECA is usually really good about little details like that. And then the only other downside is the lack of open left hand for carrying the rifle. That just seems odd. If there was the vertical grip on the front of the AK, it wouldn't be an issue at all, because then it would fit perfectly in his slightly open hand here. But because he doesn't have that, because the rifle doesn't have that, it's definitely awkward posing with the big rifle. It almost makes it a useless accessory, except for to hang it off of his back. Since it's got the little rubber piece, maybe that's all they intended you to do with it, was to slip it over his shoulder and back, which that just came undone. And maybe that's what they meant for you to do. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely feels like a bit of a waste otherwise. So anyway, that's it for this review. If you have any questions or comments about it, I'm looking right now and I'm thinking that might be supposed to pop off there to put it on the back. That would be kind of a cool little feature, if you could actually pin that back in place. Yeah, kinda. I don't know if that was meant to be glued on or not, but at least you can put it on his back, so that's nice. But yeah, questions or comments about this guy, feel free to hit me up about him. I'd be glad to answer anything. Or if you have any insight as to things I missed because I haven't played the game, please feel free to let me know. I'm wrong all the time, so just ask my wife. So yeah, that's it. If you have anything, share it. I'd be glad to talk to you about it. I love NECA's action figures, so this guy, even though I haven't played the game, is definitely still a big win for me. So thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.